That is your magic sentence with delaying the consequences, is try not to worry about it. It is magic. It's pure neurolinguistic programming too. Especially if you say it like, try not to worry about it.
So do you not, in terms of like love and logic, I think one of the big issues like with Gazzacho is, and I think all teenagers in general, is like their tone, respect levels. Do you deal with that at all?
Sure, and it'll be semantics and how we deal with that. It's like, I'm not willing to stay in an environment where people talk to me disrespectfully. Or I'm willing to have this conversation when you speak to me the way I'm speaking to you, with respect.
Okay.
But until then, there will be no conversation. You can't just cut off conversations. Nice try.
Okay.
Because once you set that boundary, you have two choices. Either avoid the power struggle at all costs or win at all costs.
But there's not a is there necessarily a consequence? Like Gazzacho does this thing where he'll be up in his room and be like, Mom! Mom! I just usually ignore it.
Yeah, I would. And then when he's not in lizard mode and he's not screaming Mom, we sit down at the table and he's feeding dinner and he say, now that we're all eating this wonderful meal that I've made for you, I have a request. I'm not willing to make dinner for someone who screams my name like I'm a servant. And so I'm asking that you don't scream Mom from upstairs anymore. And if you would like to talk to me, I'm happy to respond when you're speaking or calling for me respectfully. And if you don't feel like calling to me respectfully, then I'll take that as a sign as that you don't want dinner that night. And I'll just make dinner for myself. Does that sound fair? No? Okay. Well, that's what I'm willing to do and not willing to do. So you can decide whether or not you want me to cook for you. Well, I can cook for myself. I'm sure you can. And I'm really excited for the day when you are that self-sufficient and everything. And if we're ready to give that a practice, I'm totally open to that conversation as well.
Okay.
All right? And it is a talk. But it's best to have those talks in the wizard mode. Front loading and having the consequence conversations when everybody's pissed off does not work. Doing it when everybody's in a good space. Hey, Gazzacho, now that I've done the parent weekend and you've been working your butt off at Fire Mountain, I thought now would be a good time to lay some new ground rules for the home. Because what we were doing wasn't working. I know that I've not been happy and I'm exhausted. It's obvious you haven't been that you've been very unhappy and really frustrated. And I think that if we make some major, and that's the beginning of your conversation. Versus, you don't talk to me like that, you son of a... And it's already gone. It's lizards chasing each other around the rock. Mm-hmm. All right? Get them in warm rock and have the most awesome, cool, loving conversation. And then when it happens again, don't cook him dinner. That's the hard part. That conversation's the easy part. It's that follow through, because when you're not cooking, what kind of mother am I that wouldn't cook? He's just yelling my name, blah, blah, blah. Don't cook him dinner. Don't call him down for dinner. Don't tell him you're cooking dinner, but not for him. Just cook dinner and eat it. And then he comes down at 8 o'clock and says, where's dinner? And you go, oh, I made dinner for myself. I'm sorry. Did you not remember our conversation? What? This is bullshit. I know. And that's where you go brain dead. Okay. And we'll get to the brain dead conversation, okay? I heard that.
Masters Day.
So this piece is one of the ones that came up earlier with something you had said that I wanted to really jump into this one where we talked about our conversation was so fun and like energetic, and now I can't remember it. Damn it. We don't solve their problems for them. Once we have determined what their work is and our work, 3 is too much. 2 I'm okay with, but 3, so I'm willing to. But hand the problem back to the child. Handing the problem back to the child. That is a major, major component of it. This is what, now that I said this, when we talked about that checklist and how that's one of the if-thens. If you get the checklist done, then you can graduate Fire Mountain. That is, but whether they graduate or not is not our problem. It's theirs. Whether they get their checklist done or not is not our problem. It's theirs. So it's their work. The if-then is all on them. If you do the checklist, then you can graduate Fire Mountain. Not if you and I both do your checklist and make sure it gets done and I remind you that your checklist is lagging. We don't remind Maria that she's behind on her checklist. We don't. It's not our problem. It's hers. And when she's ready, and she's coming ready for a pass, she wants that off-site pass. It's like you can see her starting to get itchy, and we're going to have the conversation. She's going to come up and she's going to be like, I really need a break from Fire Mountain. And we're going to go, I know. How's your checklist looking? Because that break, it's time. She's getting ready. Her work's and it's time. But that's her work, and we're going to give that problem to her. Because when she solves it, that break is something that she earned and she deserved. And we didn't do it for her. We did not earn a break. And she's going to look to you guys for a rescue. Could you guys just come up and take me out for my birthday, Christmas, whatever? And she might be trying to white knuckle to Christmas because we do have a break for Christmas. But if we rescue her, then she didn't have to do her work, and we just handled her problem. We fixed it. So we give the problem back to them. I really need a break from Fire Mountain. I know. I just really need to graduate and get back into school. I need to see my friends. I know. What's your plan?